Have you ever had one of those moments where someone says something so simple, yet it hits you right in the chest? Like, you're just going about your day, maybe scrolling or zoning out, and then suddenly, boom. One sentence changes your whole mood. It stays with you. You don't even know why, but it does. That's what happened recently with Johnny Depp. He said just 7 words. That's it. Just 7 little words. You're the reason I smile every day. And for some reason, that one sentence sent shockwaves through fans, through people who followed his journey, and even folks who don't usually follow celebrity news. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't dramatic. But it felt real. Deeply, powerfully real. It's strange, right? How such a short line can carry so much weight. Maybe it's because of who said it, or maybe it's because we've all felt like that at some point, like there's that one person who keeps us going. That one person who gives us a reason to smile, even when things are falling apart inside. Johnny Depp's been through a lot. We all know that. Years of media chaos. Painful personal trials. Headlines full of half-truths. People judging him, turning on him, defending him, celebrating him. It's been a roller coaster. And through all that, he mostly stayed quiet. Especially recently. No big statements. No interviews. No dramatic tell-alls. Just silence. But sometimes silence says more than noise ever could. For months, he disappeared from the public eye. No red carpet events. No major interviews. Just stillness. And a lot of people wondered, where is he? What's going on? Is he okay? But what we didn't realize is, he wasn't hiding. He was healing. Healing doesn't always look like what we expect. Sometimes it's loud. Sometimes it's therapy sessions and crying and making big changes. Other times, it's quiet mornings, staying off social media, making music, painting, laughing with someone who feels safe. Johnny was choosing peace. Choosing to rebuild himself, far away from the noise. And then, when he finally did speak, it wasn't what anyone predicted. There was no bitterness. No anger. No, I told you so. It was gentle. And full of heart. You're the reason I smile every day. Simple. Soft. But if you really think about it, those words tell you everything. They tell you that he's been through a lot. That he knows what it feels like to fall apart. That someone, or maybe a few people, helped him hold it together. That love, kindness, and loyalty meant more to him than anything else. But who was he talking about? That's the question that everyone started asking. Was it one person? Was it a partner? A fan? His daughter? A best friend? Or maybe it wasn't even about one specific person, maybe it was about all the people who never stopped believing in him. Because here's something people don't always understand about Johnny Depp. He's deeply loyal. He notices everything. He remembers who was there for him when things got dark. He doesn't forget the ones who stood beside him, not the ones who cheered from a distance when things were easy, but the ones who stayed close when things got messy. Think about your own life for a second. Think about the people who stayed when you weren't your best self. The ones who didn't walk away when you were struggling. The ones who didn't need you to be perfect, they just needed you to be real. Those people are rare. And when you find them, when you feel that kind of loyalty, it changes you. Johnny's journey wasn't just about courtrooms and gossip headlines. It was about rebuilding trust, in himself, in others, in life. And somewhere in that process, he realized that certain people helped him smile again. Genuinely. Without effort. Not because they fixed him. Not because they saved him. But because they stayed. They didn't leave. They didn't expect anything in return. They just kept showing up. That's powerful. And that's what makes those 7 words feel so big. So deep. Because they aren't just a compliment. They're a confession. A thank you. A quiet truth that took years to form. Now, imagine being on the receiving end of that kind of message. Imagine hearing someone you love, someone who's been through so much, look you in the eye, or speak into the camera, and say, "You're the reason I smile every day." What would that feel like? It'd melt you, right? Because it's not just about love. It's about being seen. Being valued. Being part of someone's healing. That's what so many people want deep down, not fame or attention or gifts. Just that moment of being recognized for showing up when it mattered most. The world is fast. People forget things quickly. Relationships drift apart. But the ones who stay, the ones who show up with no agenda, no performance, no pressure, they're gold. Absolute gold. Johnny gets that now more than ever. You can almost hear it in his voice when he speaks lately. There's a softness there. A gratitude that feels earned. A peace that took time. And that's something we all crave, isn't it? To feel like we've made it through the hard part. To finally breathe again and say, "I'm okay now." Maybe not perfect. Maybe still healing. But okay. What's really beautiful about Johnny's message is that it's not flashy. It's not about proving anything. It's not about fighting back or clapping back. It's just love. Simple, true, honest love. In fact, if you've ever been through a tough season, you know that the most meaningful things aren't grand gestures. They're the little things. The quiet texts that say, "I'm here." The hugs that don't need words. The late night calls where you don't even talk, you just listen to each other breathe. That's the kind of loyalty Johnny's talking about. And when someone's been in the public eye for decades, watched, judged, praised, ridiculed, it means even more to find someone who sees you, not the image. Someone who doesn't care about your status or your mistakes, but just cares that you're okay. That's what real connection looks like. And it's rare. And it deserves to be celebrated. So maybe that's why Johnny decided to finally speak. Maybe he felt like it was time. Maybe he just needed to say it out loud, to remind the people who kept him afloat that their presence made a difference. And maybe, he also wanted the rest of us to feel that message too. To think about who we've been that person for. Or who's been that person for us. Because you don't need to be famous to feel broken. You don't need to be in a courtroom to feel betrayed. And you don't need to be on camera to feel love. This story isn't just about a celebrity. It's about being human. We all go through things. We all mess up. We all get tired. But if we're lucky, we have someone who helps us smile anyway. And that, honestly, is what life's all about. So here's a little challenge for you. Just something to think about. Who's your reason to smile every day? Really stop and think. It could be your mom. Your kid. Your best friend. Your partner. Someone who barely knows how much they mean to you. Now, imagine telling them. Not in a big dramatic way. Just honestly. "You're the reason I smile every day." Try it. Watch what happens. It might feel weird at first. Maybe even a little awkward. But you never know how badly someone needs to hear it. We all carry things silently. We all question our worth sometimes. And your words could be the thing that reminds someone they matter. That their love made a difference. That they are not invisible. Because when you really break it down, that's all anyone wants. To be seen. To be loved. To be remembered. That's what Johnny did with those 7 words. He remembered. He chose not to forget the ones who were there when it counted. And maybe that's the most powerful message of all. So the next time you think about someone who helped you smile through a dark day, tell them. Or, if you've never told them, maybe now's the time. Because healing doesn't always look like therapy or books or long talks. Sometimes it just looks like a message. A moment. A few honest words. And if those words are, "You're the reason I smile every day," well, that's more than enough. Thank you for being here. For listening. For feeling this story. If it made you think, or feel something real, share it. Leave a comment. Or just sit with it for a while. And if you're one of those rare people, the ones who stay loyal, who show up, who love without needing credit, thank you. You're the reason someone out there is smiling right now. And that's everything.